In this 18-minute follow-along routine, we're going to hack your nervous system to get instant flexibility improvements. What we're going to do first is we're going to reach forward, go to your passive range, wherever that is. You might be looking at me and going, oh my God, I can barely get there. That's fine. But go to wherever you can get and then back it off a little bit, okay? So if that means for you that you can barely get here and you're going here, that's fine, okay? So passive range, back it off a little bit. And now we're going to do 10 compression lifts with a 10-second hold. Okay, so here we go. We're going to tense the quads, point the toes, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lift it up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! All right, now what are we doing there? Why are we doing this? Because it feels horrible, doesn't it? Cramp city when you do that. And if you're cramping, that means you're doing it properly. The reason why we're doing that is because part of the front splits is flexible hamstrings. The antagonistic muscles to the hamstrings are the hip flexors. So the muscles that pull your leg up like that, hip flexion. And what we're doing is we're going to our end range. So we're going to end range, backing off a little bit, and then we're creating a strong end range antagonistic muscle contraction. And what that does is, not only does it build strength through range, which is important, but it also, we are aiming to trigger the Golgi tendon organ's function to shut down the body's ability to contract muscles, which is what restricts flexibility. We're going to do one more set and I'm going to explain more about that. So point those toes, knees straight, reach forward, passive range, back it off a little bit, 10 reps with a 10-second hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, cramp city in my feet. Ah, brutal. So, Golgi tendon, we have muscles connect to bones via tendon. Closely associated with the tendons is the Golgi tendon organs, which is a part of the nervous system, and its function is to detect when there's too much load. So when we're trying to lift too much weight, and it sends a signal to the brain or the nerve through the nervous system. Signal goes back and basically shuts down the motor units, the nervous system's ability to contract muscles. So basically prevents muscle contractions. What we're doing here is we're intentionally trying to trigger that Golgi tendon organ function. So we're trying to get the GTOs to shut down the body's ability to contract the muscle, which gives you increased flexibility, because you're not tight because you have stiff muscles. You're tight because you your nervous system is restricting movement to protect itself. Okay, here we go. Third and final set. Reach forward, come back a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it. 3, 4. Let's go. Work hard. 8, 9, 10. Oh my God. Okay. Now we go into our first stretch. If you can't do this, put a towel around your feet. Grab the towel. If you can get your hands around the back of the hamstrings, do it. First one's gentle. I'm not going to go too hard. I'm going to hold for 30 seconds. 30 seconds is enough to build flexibility. More than 30 seconds, at least in research, shows diminished returns. So you don't get that much more of a result from much more than 30 seconds. Now, it's 30 seconds of actual stretch, which means if you go down and you spend 15 seconds going a bit deeper, that's not considered part of the time. It's once you get to that full range of motion. So now we're just going to relax and we're just going to do a couple more sets of that. So so far we've done this antagonistic muscle contraction to trigger the GTO, also to develop end range strength, and basically hack our nervous system to get it to relax. You have to excuse me, guys. I don't know where you are in the world, but in Australia right now, it's summer. And I can't turn the air conditioning on in here while I'm filming because it's so loud and you'll hear it. But, you know, for flexibility development, it's actually good to be in a hot room. This is why they do Bikram and things like that. So it is. Okay, here we go. We'll go for another set. And now what we're going to do, we're going to use some contractions here. Okay, so we're going to use some contract, relax. So from here, I'm going to get into my stretch. Okay, I'll just look at the clock. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my toes back and I'm going to tense my quads and hip flexors and try and pull myself down. And use my hands as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, and now I relax. And now without coming up, I'm going to try and tense my hamstrings by pulling my feet into the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. Relax. And now actively using my hip flexors, but also pulling with my hands to pull myself forward. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. Now relax. And now hamstrings again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. One more. Tense the quads. Pull forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, God. And relax. Hamstrings again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And now just pulling myself forward a little bit longer. Oh. Whew. Okay, we're going to do one more round of this, then we're going to move into the hip flexors. So, stretching, or I shouldn't say stretching, flexibility training is not a Zen moment. It's not like a passive thing. You know, you look at me, I'm sweating. Like you can see the look on my face. It's brutal. It's challenging. You need to recover from flexibility. You'll do a workout and you need to recover from it like you would strength training or running or something like that. Mobility training is very, very different. When you do mobility training, it's gentle. It's like a warm-up or a cool-down. It's basically just taking your joints through full range of motion. It's not hard training like this. So it's really important to understand the difference between flexibility training and mobility training. And what we're doing here is flexibility training. Okay, so let's come here. I'll come a bit closer. Oh, here we go. I'm looking forward to this. All right. Okay, tensing the quads and hip flexors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, hamstrings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Quads. 1, 2, 5. Hamstrings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, God. One more. Quads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hamstrings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Knees straight and passive. So using your hands to just pull yourself forward. Oh. Okay. Great work. All right. Now we're moving into some hip flexor flexibility work. So first we're going to do an antagonistic end range contraction. So from here, I'm going to, just realized I haven't set the camera up properly, so I've got to try to, what you really should do when you do this, I need to go a posterior pelvic tilt and keep my head up. Okay, so rib cage down, posterior pelvic tilt, feel it in the hip flexor, and then we're going to grab onto this on the toes on the back foot. So I can feel the stretch in my hip flexor because I've come forward. Front foot is in front of the knee, so it's not like this, okay? Stretches on, but with the posterior pelvic tilt. Now I'm going to push my leg back 6 times. 1, but I don't move my body position. That's the purpose of this. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 5. Tensing the hamstring. 8, 9, 10. Good. Okay. Change sides. Okay. So, foot in front of the knee. Posterior pelvic tilt, lean into it, rib cage down. Okay, so I'm feeling the stretch in the hip flexor. I've got my yoga block for a focus point, something that I can hold on to for reference of where my body is. Now I'm going to use the hamstrings to create an end range contraction of the antagonistic muscle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Oh man. Whew. Oh. While I'm resting, I'm just going to raise the angle of this camera. I didn't realize I was pointing down so much. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh, all right. So because we go left to right for this, you don't need to have as much rest. So I'm going to go straight back to this side after about 30 seconds. So posterior pelvic tilt, lean forward so that I feel the stretch in the hip flexors already. And then from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do 6 reps this time. 6, hold it. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change sides. Okay. Posterior pelvic tilt. Lean into it. Get that stretch in the hip flexors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it. 3. Sinking the hips down. 4. Pushing the knee back. 8, 9, 10. Woo! So that's an end range contraction for the hip flexors and the glutes. Sorry, hamstrings and glutes to trigger the GTO, Golgi tendon organ, to shut down, hopefully, the body's ability to contract. That's going to help relax the hip flexors more so that we can go deeper into hip extension. Last set for this before we do passive stretch. Okay, here we go. Leaning into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it. Drop the hips down towards the ground, but don't let yourself go into an anterior pelvic tilt. Okay, change sides. So 6 reps, 10-second hold. I did 5 on the first round. That's my bad, but that's all good. Okay, posterior pelvic tilt. Lean into it. Get the stretch in the hip flexor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. Whew, good work. All right, we'll go straight into this wall-assisted hip flexor stretch, or also known as a couch stretch. Okay, so from here, foot in front of the knee, posterior pelvic tilt. Okay, you can lean forward first, and the closer your knee is to the wall, the back knee, the more intense the stretch is going to be. So the most flexible people will have their knee against the wall. For me, hip flexors are one of the tightest muscles in my body. I've got spondylolisthesis in L4 and L5. I've got a pars fracture, anterior pelvic tilt. So all of that means really tight hip flexors. So this, for me, this is like, now what we're going to do is come back, posterior pelvic tilt. So you tense the glutes to create the posterior pelvic tilt, and you use this leg to push your bum back towards the wall. Okay? And what we're, if you're more flexible than me, you'll be able to get your knee up against the wall. But this is a beginner front splits routine, right? So the exercises I've chosen here, they don't require a lot of flexibility to do, and they are beginner friendly. So if this is too hard for you, bring your knee further away from the wall. Okay, change sides. Okay. Lean forward first. So deep lunge, just dragging the body forward into the hip flexors. So yeah, all of these exercises, they are beginner friendly. You just need to, like on the first exercise, the compression lifts, you just back your hands off if you can't do it as well as I can. On the hamstring stretch, use a towel to wrap around your feet if you need to. The hip flexor extension lifts with focus point, that's really easy to regress or progress as a beginner. This one, if it's too hard for you, just bring your knee further away from the wall. Okay, come up, posterior pelvic tilt, push back. Okay, so trying to push the bum back towards the heel, but being aware to keep the rib cage down and a posterior pelvic tilt, so we really feel the stretch in the quadriceps and even in the hip flexors. Okay. One more on the other side. Okay. So lean forward. Let me just hold this for about 20 seconds. This one. Woo, nice and warm. Summer over here in Australia as I film this. And all my windows closed and blinds down for the lighting. Making this very hot. Like hot yoga. Okay, come back. Posterior pelvic tilt. Rib cage down. Push your bum back. And this time we're going to raise this arm up. And you can even lean this way a little bit. Oh, that gets right in there, that one. A little bit longer. A little bit longer. If you've got any questions about any of this, just leave a comment and I'll answer it for you. And if you're getting value out of this video, please click that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps. Okay, change sides. I'm going to lean forward. We're almost finished. Keep it going. Don't stop now. You've made it this far. So lean into it. Hold it for 20 seconds. A little bit longer. Really just try and, like you're using this leg to pull yourself forward as well as just letting your body drop down towards the ground. Okay, now we're going to come back. Posterior pelvic tilt. Push the bum back towards the wall. Rib cage down. Bring that arm up and lean over to the other side, getting that wicked stretch in there. Almost there, 15 more seconds. Keep it going. So we're doing this 30-second hold on all the major stretches that we do on the static stretching. Okay, great work. Now let's test our front splits and see how well that worked for us. Okay, look at that. Considerably better than when I started. Let's test it. Yeah, look at that. A lot better. So you can see a major improvement from the start of that workout. Just make sure you don't only want to be doing the front splits when you do your training. Even if you feel like you don't need to be working on other areas of your body, you want to be doing shoulder flexibility, middle splits as well. And I've got routines for all of those, so you should click that video. Join me in another one of these awesome routines, and I'll see you in that next video. Have a great day.